Do you live in a food desert? Do you know what a food desert is? Well, I'm about to tell you on today's BFD. It's Hunger Week here on BFD. We have Karthik Sarma, and he's a medical student at UCLA. So Karthik, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me.
What constitutes a food desert?
The USDA defines it as if you're in a city, if you live more than 1 mile away from the nearest grocery store. So by that metric, there are lots of places, obviously, all over the country. I think that's one good definition, but I think something broader is probably appropriate, personally. Because I think there's more than just the distance and the time, there's also affordability. Food is expensive, especially good food.
Yeah.
And there's just the fact that it's just so easy to walk into any fast food restaurant and pick up a full meal for a couple bucks. There are all kinds of other factors, that lead people to eat unhealthily. But you're never going to be able to eat healthily if you don't have access to a grocery store. That's the foundation.
How is this issue brought to your attention?
We see patients all the time, especially in less affluent areas of LA, who, don't know how they're going to get food. If I hadn't had access to food when I was a kid, I wouldn't be me. No matter what my potential might have been, my brain would have starved and I wouldn't have been able to do anything. That's a human loss, it's a tragedy, it's a loss to the country, it's a loss to jobs. America's founded on innovation, but if we're starving the people who are supposed to be innovating the future, we don't have a future.
Right. So where do we go from here?
I still see too many people who have, what we'd call obesogenic disease. The country spends about 90% of its healthcare dollar on preventable disease, which includes, the diseases of obesity. People die all the time of these diseases, and they don't need to. But as a representative of medical students, I got to think about what the practice environment, what the future of our country will look like. And we don't want to practice somewhere where everybody's dropping dead of preventable disease. We want to be able to help people who run into trouble, not maintain people at an unhealthy level. I was just in Washington, D.C. I met with a couple of representatives. I was very lucky to get sent as a medical student. For some reason, people listen to me. They really shouldn't. You guys shouldn't trust me. But, talking to them and talking to their staff, they actually do care about what their constituents tell them about. When you call them up or when you write a letter, someone will drop a note on the congressman's desk saying, 1,000 of your constituents called over the last week, and they say that we're fed up with kids who are starving, who don't have access to healthy foods, who are getting obese, not because they're lazy or their parents are lazy, but because they don't have access to good food. That matters. It's not a partisan issue. Kids starving is not a partisan issue. This is an issue for everyone.
Well, thank you so much, Karthik.
Thank you.
If you want to take action on this issue, check the links in the description below to find out more. For BFD, I'm Marisha Ray, and don't forget to subscribe.